The Jamaica Labour Party continues to, shall we say, air its laundry as yet another controversial issue has been made public. The opposition spokesman on Justice Delroy Chuck has taken issue with being left out of the legal team, assisting party leader Andrew Holness in his bid to appeal the decision by the Constitutional Court. Early February, the court wronged Holness's use of undated pre-signed letters of resignation to remove 2 members of the Senate in 2013. Mr. Chuck says he never asked to be appointed as opposition spokesman on justice, so he was surprised that as the member of the party responsible for legal affairs in a matter such as this, his advice was not sought. Responding to Mr. Chuck's allegations, communications manager in the office of the opposition leader, Robert Morgan, says it may have been a case of Mr. Chuck not expressing an interest in being a part of the legal team.
Mr. Holness has currently engaged attorneys to see to the settlement of certain matters that have been dealt with by the court in the first instance. I am not aware of every Jamaica Labour Party attorney being a part of that team. What I do know is that persons with particular expertise in particular matters are persons who are involved in that team. I don't know if Mr. Chuck is of that experience or he has such understanding of the issues as it relates to the case and the intricacies of the matters that are to be dealt with. So I don't know if it is a fair question to say he has been left out.
A point of contention for Mr. Chuck is the legal advice allegedly being sought from attorney and former party member Abe Dabdoob, who has brought court cases against 2 current members of the party, Shahini Robinson and Darrell Vaz. Mr. Chuck says the party has not denied Dabdoob's involvement in the case, with Party Secretary General Dr. Horace Chang confirming the former party member's involvement in a televised interview. However, media manager in the office of the opposition leader, Robert Morgan, denies that allegation.
There's no fact to the accusation that Mr. Dabdoob has been retained by Mr. Holness. Mr. Holness has retained 2 attorneys to deal with this matter. Ms. Gibson Henlin, who dealt with the matter in the first instance and is still leading the matter, and another attorney who is advising on the issue, and Mr. Dabdoob is not a part of that. My information is that Mr. Holness neither sought or was interested or inquired of Mr. Dabdoob for any opinion or intervention on the matter. So to say that Mr. Holness has engaged Mr. Dabdoob is an error of fact, and it's also mischief because no such thing has taken place.
This is the second time that Chuck has taken to media platforms with negating comments on actions by the party leader. Posed with the question of whether or not this means there is bad blood between Chuck and Holness, Mr. Morgan says as far as Mr. Holness is concerned, it is not.
Mr. Holness has no bad blood towards Mr. Chuck. You'd remember that when Mr. Holness became Prime Minister, Mr. Chuck was made Attorney General and Minister of Justice. You would also remember that just recently, Mr. Chuck was selected by Mr. Holness as opposition spokesperson on justice. I don't think Mr. Holness, if he had enmity towards Mr. Chuck, would select him. And you should also know that even though Mr. Chuck has gone out and made statements, Mr. Holness has not rescinded his appointment of Mr. Chuck as opposition spokesperson on justice. I think that is telling, and a lot of people, if they look at the issue broadly and look at the actions of Mr. Holness and Mr. Chuck, they will form their own conclusions as to where the bad blood is.
As for this whole issue affecting the image of the Jamaica Labour Party right before local government elections, Mr. Morgan says it's not as big a deal as is being reported.
Mr. Holness continues to do the work that the delegates of the party overwhelmingly by over 700 votes put him there to do. The people of Jamaica are interested in their welfare. How are we going to get jobs? How are we going to get growth? And I think as long as Mr. Holness continues to push that agenda of defending the rights of the Jamaican people will continue to understand what Mr. Holness is about. Mr. Holness has not commented on this issue, has not responded to any of the statements that have been made. And I don't suspect he will, because Mr. Holness is not going to be distracted based on his own statements. He's going to be distracted for what it is that people of Jamaica are really interested in. People are not interested in cash and to and fro. People want their business to be taken care of. People just want the Jamaica Labour Party to settle down and come forward with the policies and the plans that can make their lives better. And that's what the leader is focused on.